The coronation route is shorter than in 1953. The coach has been modernised. Will Harry and Meghan turn up to the coronation? All things coronation with the marvellous, the most royal Rupert Bell, TalkTV's royal correspondent. Rupert, how devil are you?
Very good. Dodging showers at the moment, whilst spending a lot of my time reading the latest developments in the build-up to the coronation. There's a lot going on, and a lot needs to be resolved between now and May the 6th.
Quite a big task ahead. I've been walking in and around London. You can see lots of things going up already. I'm getting really excited. It's a great thing for Britain in many ways. The eyes of the world are on it. But the coronation route is to be short-ended.
Well, yes, it's going to basically, the way he goes in, he's going to come back that way. Now, when we go back to 1953, the Queen Elizabeth, she went for a 5-mile trek round London in that state carriage, which she described as pretty uncomfortable. But I think there are logistical and practical reasons, because there just will not be as many people involved. And I think that's one of the reasons why they kept it to that. And also there may be security implications, because at least if they keep it to one route, they know exactly what's going on then. They can control that sort of dynamic. And it's a much tried and tested route from Buckingham Palace to Westminster Abbey. And that, yes, people might say, well, that means that not as many people are going to see it. But I think there are practical reasons. A, the number of people who are taking part in it will be greatly reduced. So there's all sorts of considerations that have been taken into account why we see this sort of pared down route for the post the coronation, which will still look spectacular, but nowhere near the scale it was back in '53.
So, Rupert, if I'm plain old Nick de Bois and I wander down to London and I fight my way through the crowds, am I able to just turn up and stand close to a barrier and hope that I will see them? And presumably, if I do, I'll get a double hit on their way out and on their way back.
Well, I think that's the thing. If you get in early, and so knowing at the Platinum Jubilee, there were people getting there really early for that. And I can see something similar happening here, because there will be some real dedicated enthusiasts who won't want to miss the pitch. And so if you're on the Mall, you're going to get two lots as they come back up that way, and it will look spectacular. So, yes, I think it's going to cause a bit of a headache. Now, one of the problems in the Platinum Jubilee, they were taken aback by the scale and the size of the crowds. They just didn't, they sort of played cautious, because they thought, well, how's it going to play with the British public? Well, I think the reaction was the crowds were sensational throughout the 4 days of that weekend. So I think there will be something similar, and I know there will be tourists coming in hoping to get a glimpse of it. So they're not, again, it's going to be something that's going to have to be managed extremely well by the security and everything.
We have huge patience. I remember I found myself on the Mall during the Ascension on the Saturday after the Queen died, and I found myself, I hadn't planned to, I waited 4 hours to get about a 10-second glimpse of a car with King Charles in it at the time. We are a remarkable nation, aren't we?
For doing that, yes. Fair play to you, Nick. 10 seconds. I hope it was 10 seconds worth waiting for, because normally
it was amazing. It was amazing.
But if it was going from Clarence House to Buckingham Palace, it's a quick move in there. But
it was.
I think, yes, and I think that is the organisers will want as many people to be able to see it. But of course, the dynamic of the coronation now from 1953, with everything that's going on, it's a completely different era. Security considerations and everything that has to go on. That is why it will feel, I'm not saying people will be shortchanged, but it just is not going to go traipsing around London as it did.
But we have lots of media to watch it on, even our phones, if we can. Now, tell me though, we may be, our legs may be weary, we could be getting sunburnt, we could be getting rained on, but the King and Queen, they're in a more modernised version of the original coach, I understand.
Well, there's two coaches that are going to be used. There'll be one on the way, and then the big golden state coach, which is the one that the Queen described as pretty uncomfortable, because it's basically hung on sort of leather straps. So it's pretty old-fashioned, can only go at walking pace. But I think by all accounts, the person who's in charge of it says it has had modifications to make it a bit more of a comfortable experience for the King and the Queen.
It's got air conditioning, man. This is luxury, isn't it?
Well, not that one. I think the first one they go in has certainly had the Australian, a coach that was made in Australia has come with mod cons, electric windows, a bit of air conditioning. So if the weather is inclement and cold, but if my memory serves me right, then the King will be pretty togged up anyway, so they shouldn't be feeling too cold. And as he's only got to go 1.3 miles, it won't take too long before he's inside Westminster Abbey. It will still look, again, that'll be part of what people will want to see. The coronation is expected to take place from about 11 inside the Westminster Abbey, but it's what happens before. Of course, there will be the procession up to Westminster Abbey, so people will be getting there, as I say, very early to get a glimpse of them coming out of the palace on their way to Westminster Abbey.
I know I'll be in the country. I don't know where I'll be, and I suspect I won't be standing on the Mall or anything. But what we don't know is whether... I have to mention it. I'm sorry. Will Harry and Meghan be here?
I think this is becoming, and this is the frustration, I think, for everyone. It is the inevitable sideshow. And you just think with a month to go, do the decent thing one way or another. And it seems like this sort of runes are coming that he wants to find out everything. So even suggestions that he wants Archie to have a role. He's 4 years of age. Actually, it's his father's coronation. He should basically do his father's bidding. He shouldn't be then... if he is putting demands on the King of how they're going to be managed, I'm sorry, I think most people
it's
feel...
me, isn't it? It really is me.
I think it's rude more than anything, because it's a bit like if you get asked for dinner somewhere, I know it's on a bigger scale, and then you set a whole series of demands as to who you want to sit next to and everything. I'm sorry.
We know how to solve this problem. Harry, mate, you two can stay in California sunshine. Let's turn to other things, though, but slightly related. I didn't know this, that Kate Middleton's Windsor walk with Harry and Meghan she's quoted as saying one of the hardest things she ever did, according to a new book by Robert Jobson's, which is called Our King... it's just Our King, isn't it? That's right, That's what it's called. Tell me, what does this mean? Was she gritted teeth then when she had to go out and walk with Harry and Meghan?
I think the whole thing was a bit gritted teeth, because it, in a way, was designed to try and nip the story in the bud. And it was, I think, William said, right, we're going to go out there together, because there were rumours, I think probably unfounded, that they were worried that Harry and Meghan would go out on a walk and be pursued by a Netflix documentary camera. So I think there was, whether that's true, I'm not sure. But whatever, I think they felt they needed to put on a show of unity. And when you see it, they kept separate, and clearly it was done to, but there were big crowds there when they came out. I think it probably was quite difficult, because clearly the lack of trust between the brothers and the wives now is really, that's sad to see. And that's what's happened here. The trust has completely broken down on both sides as to way that they feel that they can conduct their business.